Where does the Bible predict that man will walk on the moon and reach the stars, populate the planets orbiting the stars? It's Psalms, the book of Psalms, and Psalm number 8, verse 3 and verse 6. Verse 3 says, "The heavens are the work of God's hands," and then it says, "the moon and the stars." It renames the heavens, or gets more specific in terms of the moon and the stars. And then in verse 6, it says that God gives man dominion over the work of his hands, which would include what? The moon and the stars. And because they've already been specified. Because they have already been specified. And then in the same verse, verse 6, it says God gives man dominion over the work of his hands, and which would mean the moon and the stars. And then in the same verse, verse 6, it says, it explains what form that dominion will take. Will take the form of walking on the moon and the stars. Well, what it says is, God puts all things under man's feet, which means that man would stand upon all things, or, on the moon and the stars. And, or as far as the stars are concerned, it would be the planets orbiting the stars. And so there you have it. It's Psalms 8 was written by King David, the same David that from the story of David and Goliath, David the shepherd boy, who goes on to become the king. Now, I'm not saying that David was thinking in terms of the moon and the stars as a part of what man would have dominion over. I'm saying that God would be the one who would have this in mind, because he's writing through David. God is writing Psalms 8. And he would be the one, because he is far-sighted, what do you call it, a deep thinker, and he knows the future. God does. And he would know that man will reach the moon and the stars. And he's the one telling us that. For our good, for our sake, so that we can know what lies ahead. That's all for now. This is Joe Grace. I'll make another video about this, and I'll try to combine it with this video. And you can contact me at joegracegrace@gmail.com.